So how's it going, guys? This is going to be Group 5's presentation. That includes myself, Tim F., Noella, and Matt. So basically what we wanted to talk about is how procrastination, sort of disfluent talk, can cause you to not be able to project your own sort of emotions, ideas, stresses, but also how loving kindness and empathy allow you to process others better. And all four of these we felt work in conjunction with each other, and that's why we chose the four, where I'm going to be talking about procrastination and how in my life I've allowed it to stack to the point where it's hard to deal with, and then it makes current things harder to deal with, and how eliminating that will then allow you to better process grief and stress and all of those things that we all go through. Tim's going to go ahead and talk about disfluent talk as well as mind wandering, and how being able to organize your thoughts will then let you convey what you need to easier, and how dealing with that could be the difference between maybe getting a job, not getting a job, making a friend with somebody, not making a friend with somebody. And then Noella is going to be talking about loving kindness and how having that allows you to then be more empathetic, which then leads into Matt's, and that's why we chose to have those four. Being able to be loving and kind allows you to process other people's stress and sort of issues with their own mindfulness in order to then sort of be able to contribute to that conversation. And then being empathetic, again, allows you to process other people's grief and other people's stress, and it comes in so many different forms that if you're not empathetic to people, it's going to be hard to have a genuine reaction. So moving right ahead into my portion, which is procrastination, it's better to think of it as stress avoidance, because that's all procrastination really is. And that's all I feel that I think of it as, because none of us are strangers to loss, none of us are strangers to stress, but I think a lot of us aren't able to look at stress as temporary. It's hard to remove yourself from trauma and accept that it's going to pass. And so instead of dealing with it head on, whether it be an assignment, grieving a loved one, any of those things, and those are two extremes of the spectrum, they build and build and build. If you think of it as sort of a credit card, and your stress you put on that credit card, and so you don't have to pay it off right away, and it goes to that balance. But the longer it sits there, the longer you go without dealing with it, without paying for it, the interest stacks and stacks and stacks. And then when you have to put more stressful things into that sort of account, bear with me with the metaphor, when you have to put more into that balance, the interest goes higher and higher and higher. And then you're not able to sort of pay that off. You're not able to deal with it, because now you have all of these things that have sort of accumulated and have made it really impossible for you to process that stress. And then it ends up with your own sort of psyche crumbling because of it. You're not able to then help people with their stresses, because if you haven't dealt with your own demons, how can you help somebody with theirs? Or at least given them sort of life and allowed them to influence you negatively. And that's what I feel people need to do, is to acknowledge the stress that's in their life and let it hurt. It's going to hurt, and it's terrible, but it's all temporary. Stress is always temporary, but it's how you deal with it that determines the length of time that it is. It could be a minute, a day, an hour, a year, or a lifetime. But being able to harness that stress and sort of deal with it allows you to be more mindful, because if you're acknowledging that the reason I'm putting off this assignment, this project, the reason why a lot of us have sort of waited until the last day to post milestones, myself included, waited till it was down to the wire to sort of even record the video, as I just did as I finished my route. Letting it sit just builds that stress and puts more into the balance that is your sort of grief and stress account. And that's really with the rest of my group members, what they're going to be speaking about sort of feeds into that idea, in that acknowledging that there's problems with our mindfulness allows us to sort of do better, allows us to help others, and allows us to get through it. And the better you get at acknowledging stress, sort of disfluent talk, the second you're able to empathize better, you're able to be more loving, more kind, as my group members will elaborate on, you're going to see your own progression, and then you're going to see your life progressively get not less stressful, but the stress is going to hurt for less time because you're able to give it the time that it needs. So for me, that's it. I hope this video, again, finds everybody happy and healthy. I hope that they're, staying safe. I'm out here delivering every day. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody else's opinion. I can't wait for this project to all be done and we can all talk and converse about it. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to my group members. So again, stay happy and stay healthy.